Welcome back. We're on part 4 of episode 131. It's time for the special feature of this episode, and this episode is going to have a belt or bury for the WWE superstar Sheamus. We've done 2 belt or buries before. One of them was Damian Sandow, and the other one, if I remember remembering correctly, was Cody Rhodes. So we're going to go from somebody who's never won a world title and another person who was the Money in the Bank winner and didn't win a world title to somebody who has won 3 world titles and is the current United States champion. Now, a little bit of backstory about Belt or Bury. The way that this works is you have only those 2 choices. You either have to take this superstar and give them some kind of a belt and a push, or if you don't think that they're worthy of that, then they need to get buried in some way. You can't just kind of throw them in the mid card. You can't really keep them somewhere in between that. It has to be some sort of an actual burial or some sort of an actual push. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they need to be the world heavyweight champion who is on top of the world, or that they are released from the company and worse than somebody like a Heath Slater or a Santino or anything like that. But they do need to take some kind of a significant hit or a significant push. And there's no other way around it. So with Sheamus, my backstory with Sheamus, from my point of view, I'll throw that out there, then I'll go around and then I'll do my belt or bury. Sheamus is somebody that I have always thought got way too much recognition than what he deserved. And actually, one of my first articles that I had written for Smark Moment when I originally made the website was about how the Sheamus push makes no sense. And it basically revolved around the idea that he shouldn't be the champion anytime soon. Why are they doing this? He's just here because Triple H is his buddy and all that other kind of stuff. Even though if you check Sheamus' Twitter account, he's just like, oh, I worked out with him like 3 times. I don't even know the dude's first name and whatever. Like, but so Sheamus is a guy that WWE clearly values a lot. They clearly think that he is a main event caliber talent, but he doesn't seem to really get that kind of a reaction from the crowd. So it'll be interesting to see what everybody says here. Sean, you're up first. Sheamus right now is the United States champion. Should he stay that way? Should he get another belt? Should he be pushed higher like that? Or should he just be buried in general?
Well, first of all, the first thing I would do is turn Sheamus heel. Right? Because this face character, let's be honest, isn't getting anywhere. True.
Agreed.
And yeah, he's a bit bland and boring. And I would set him up with a feud with Damian Sandow. I think I think Sandow deserves the belt more than Sheamus, and then I would let Sheamus rot on the unemployment line with the rest of these fucking Hasbros trying to get some money and some green. I fucking hate Sheamus. He's so fucking boring. He's so green. Just, just, just go and take Del Rio with you, for fuck's sake.
I gotta agree with that because, man, with this Sheamus character being a babyface could have potentially worked. I mean, we've had the tough guy kind of character in the past be a babyface. They don't have to always be heel, but man, he really doesn't have much character for somebody who tries to be over the top with nothing, doesn't he?
He's a John Cena 2.0, but without the charisma. And that's saying something. Who would have thought I would have said John Cena had charisma? Fuck, I feel dirty.
So you're going with a
Sure,
Berry here.
definitely Barry. I'd stick him with the Undertaker in a buried alive match. Fucking bury that son of a bitch and cover cement over him.
That's kind of
No offense,
harsh.
Sheamus, I just don't like you.
So it's starting to turn into Berry in a literal sense.
Just don't like him.
It's like he
Get a
should
suntan.
lose the title, and we should kill the bastard.
Fucking kill him, yeah. Fucking... And his stupid ginger beard. Just, 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 no, grow it fully, or don't grow it at all. What's the deal with the handlebars, man?
You think he should be pulling a Daniel Bryan beard, but all gingery.
And Eric Rowan, that's the beard he wants. That'll make his character more likable. An Eric Rowan beard.
Just give him a wedgie.
And then Dixie Carter can steal that idea and then solve your TNA problems. You see?
That's what TNA needs.
Ginger beards.
So Wago, Belt or bury Sheamus? What's your stance on the situation?
Well, since the murdering aspect's been taken by Sean, I'll just stick to a normal one. But as far as my opinion with Sheamus goes, he was never that good. The first time I saw him, he was on ECW, and he just seemed bland then. They brought him into the mix with John Cena and had him beat him out of nowhere with some awkward table spot. And that's when I got to see his first initial heel run, and it was dry, it was boring, and he did nothing. He finally had a face turn, and I actually got into it initially. He had some fun matches with Wade Barrett, but again, it was just after a few months, it became the same old shtick, and I didn't care anymore. So you're in a situation where, all right, we could try pushing him, but we'd need to turn him heel. It's not going to work. He's just doesn't have anything to give more than what he's shown us, or at least he's given me no indication that he can do anything differently. So then I look to the rest of the roster, and there's plenty of other guys that deserve the spot he's currently in, or better. So I say feed him to the wolves. You give him, Sean hit the nail on the head. Damien Sandow's a perfect example of a guy that should be at a higher level. Heck, Fandango should be at a higher level than Sheamus. Dolph Ziggler. There's a whole bunch of talent there that's not being utilized, and Sheamus is just taking up a spot. He's matches. Don't get me wrong, he can go in the ring, but outside of that, there's nothing to get you invested into the character, so you're not invested in his matches. So I'm all for the burying option. Have him lose the title to someone that's worth it, and then you just keep him in a situation where he's putting guys over, and maybe you give him the odd winner now and again, so when you finally do beat Sheamus, it means something, but he should never be a world champion again.
Peyton?
So yeah.
I'm actually going to be the weird person here who kind of likes Sheamus. I admit he has been stale at times, but I will blame that on the writers and not necessarily on him. They want to portray him as just this plain Irish tough guy, and yeah, that could be him, but that can't be all. You got to have him doing compelling things and not just being like, oh, I'm a tough guy and I beat people up and I'm invincible, because that is going to get boring. It's the John Cena effect. The way they have him booked is he's just an Irish John Cena, and people don't like John Cena, so they're not going to like Sheamus.
You almost went into hacksaw territory there. Hey, tough guy.
I would give him a belt. However, I would not give him a main event belt, at least not at this point. I would make him earn his credits. I'm not saying just give it to him because he looks cool and I like the character and all that, which I do. But I think someone like him could definitely fill a spot in the middle with a mid-card belt. I'd say the U.S. belt is a great place to start him. I would have him take that U.S. belt, go into a heel mode right now, change that U.S. belt back to the European title while he's holding it, and have him brag about how all the countries in Europe are way better than America. Maybe even get into a point where you're like in a Bret Hart situation where he's a heel here in the States, but then he's a babyface over in Europe, which I believe they are heading there next week, aren't they?
Something like that. They're doing some kind of a tour.
Yeah, so that would have been perfect timing. Sucks they didn't take advantage of it. But I'm optimistic on Sheamus. I like him being around. I don't like when he's shoved down our throats, though. But like when he was gone for that period of time with injury and he came back, I was like, oh, it's kind of nice to see Sheamus again. I haven't quite gotten sick of him yet, so I'm okay with where he's at right now. I think the United States title's a fine place for him, and hopefully they actually do something with this run rather than just having him hold it like Dean Ambrose was.
You know what? You sold me on a little bit of a problem that I had. My situation is kind of the same as Wego's in a lot of ways. I think Sheamus right now is a good fit for the United States title, but this should kind of be his last hurrah. I think that he should be a babyface for maybe another. Next week is when the European thing starts.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they really should have just changed this ahead of time. I do like that idea a lot about converting it over to the European Championship, and that's not from any kind of a like of the European title. I actually think that the European title is ridiculous, but I like the idea that you can go back and forth between that. If they keep the United States title and the Intercontinental title, why not make it the Intercontinental title and the whatever the person's holding it title? It could be a United States Championship if you were from America. It could be the, I don't know, fucking Irish Championship if you're Irish. It could be the
Ghana West Africa title.
Right, like they could kind of do that kind of shit. And you know what? That might be an actual way that you can get some more merchandise sales. because if somebody is really into that kind of stuff and they want to call themselves, the I don't know, the United Kingdom champion or something like that, do a fucking United Kingdom championship. It can't be that difficult to really change the designs if you keep it like a minimal change, kind of like what they have at the championship now, where the little side plates. You can change a couple of things like that, and it can really get a lot of different sales for belts. But I like the idea that a lot of other people have pitched around, where you can kind of unify the titles down the line as well. And I think that there's something here with Bad News Barrett where he's got to turn babyface. Not now, like not right now, but he can keep this up and he can turn babyface. And I would like to see Sheamus in a situation where they build him up for a little bit right now and they make him a heel and they make him somebody who he's a former main eventer who's holding the United States title, not because he's not good enough to fit in the main event scene, but because he's there for the United States title. And it's more so trying to get that over than it's getting himself over. So he beats people. He can beat a Big Show. He can beat a Mark Henry. He can have these feuds with like Titus O'Neil and Ryback and whatever. But it's got to mean something to the point where if you can turn Wade Barrett babyface and have a unification of the match and make him the champion, put him over really well and make him somebody who beats Sheamus and he's got that kind of an edge to him, I think that that's the way that you go here. And then after that, straight on burial. Not burial to the point where he is a worthless piece of the roster, but he could be somebody who's a jobber to the stars. He could be that guy that somebody like a Dolph Ziggler is right now, where
essentially a Christian.
Yeah, that's actually a good parallel. Christian is somebody who has had that championship in the past, and he can win an Intercontinental or United States title at any time. Hell, he could even win a tag team championship at any time if they wanted to saddle him with somebody, and people would believe it. But he could lose to anybody, and it's not going to be like, oh my God, Sheamus lost? Christian lost? Like, what the hell? It's not like Undertaker losing the streak where everybody's shocked. Christian can fill a void in an Elimination Chamber match and get eliminated first, and nobody bats an eye. But there's still a group of people that go, well, maybe Christian's got a chance here. Some delusional people, some people that are just big fans, whatever. Sheamus will have those kind of people following him and those people supporting him or being against him if it's a heel, whatever the case. But he could be somebody who can be that guy who gets buried for the main event guys and gets a win here and there, and that's, I think, the way that you go. So it's not a burial when you release the guy, but he's done all he can do. I mean, he is a 3-time world champion. He's in his second United States title reign. He won the Royal Rumble. He won the King of the Ring. He's had feuds with pretty much everybody who's on the roster now. So what the hell else is there for Sheamus to do? Is he really going to be a talent that you're going to try to book the next 10 years about? No. So burial for me, burial for Wago, burial for Sean, and a belt for Mike Payton. 3-1. I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Sheamus, does he get a belt or do we bury him? We're going to do one other section here, part 5, coming up with Fantasy League talk.